I want to add a little bit of nuance to this black people in anime conversation that I think everybody's missing. Is what he's saying true? Yes. In some ways, what he's saying is true. Now, is what he's saying true? Yes. What he's saying is also true. Now, I was born in the 80s. I grew up as a child in the 90s, and I was a teen in the early 2000s. And all throughout that time, I was always interested in animation. I always loved anime. I grew up on Dragon Ball Z, Digimon, Yu Yu Hakusho. And while growing up on all that, I realized something. Yes, there were people who were just unpleasant and unhygienic, and that got them bullied. But also, there was something deemed acceptable anime and unacceptable anime. Now, if you grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, you already know it. Everybody rocked with DBZ. Everybody loved Dragon Ball Z, even the girls. You know what I mean? When Goku first turned Super Saiyan, everybody was watching that. And to some extent, everybody also loved Avatar The Last Airbender. Everybody also loved Samurai Jack. And if you watch like Yu Yu Hakusho or Inuyasha, people wouldn't really bother you for that. But if you were a fan of Saturday Morning Yu-Gi-Oh! As a 15, 16-year-old, if you like Digimon as a 14, 15, 16-year-old, yeah. And this is why I think this conversation always gets muddied because people don't recognize that. Is that yes, there were people who were not unpleasant, who were not unhygienic, but they liked anime that was unacceptable. And there were people who did like anime that was acceptable, but they were just unhygienic, misogynistic, and just not pleasant people to be around. I think both sides of this conversation needs to recognize that there's more nuance in this conversation than we're given credit for. I was one of those kids where I liked all of it, but people will always tell me, "Oh, you watching Dragon Ball Z? Aight, but Digimon? Come on, bro, you too old for that." You feel me? Like that happened. Now, at the end of the day, even if someone is, unhygienic, no one deserves to get bullied. All right, like we gotta stop giving those excuses. No one deserves to get bullied, but like we just need to kind of recognize that this conversation is more complicated than what we're giving credit for. Anyway, y'all, that's just my thoughts on it. Peace. Let me get back to work.